G'day.
G'day. How you
How you
going?
going?
Not quite as easy online to do that.
No.
That's okay.
We could try it again.
Nah, that's all
I
right.
think.
How's it going? Are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you okay, Benjamin?
Yeah, I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm good.
Oh,
I'm
that's
good. Everything's good. Lockdown day 967, but we're good.
Yeah, is there actually a figure on that? Like how many days it's ever been?
As
Most of
far
the
as
year,
like
really.
Victoria has been locked down, like I think the most, like more than America.
Oh, really?
And America's had like 30,000 cases a day. But America's got like none of that lockdown bullshit happening, to my knowledge.
No,
they just
that's crazy.
They just do whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've got so many cases. Masks, I don't even think are mandatory.
No.
I think they just say wear them. But like here, it's like if you don't wear a mask, your name's Karen and you're shopping at Bunnings.
And you're slapped with a fine that you're not going to take. You're going to
I'm not going
to
to. I do not give you permission to arrest me.
Yeah.
That's my right.
That's right. That's abuse.
Yeah. Mm. Yes. What about our hiatus? We should talk about it. Everyone listening, all the folks at home, wherever else you could be. That's why we haven't had a podcast for a while. Good old Corona.
Well, Corona lockdown. I think I don't know how long it's been since you've been around here, but I remember one day you come around here and it was an idea, like we'll do that, next week or something. And then ever since it's just been, you can't really have anybody around.
I think we went back into lockdown after that.
Yeah.
Because we had that little period of time where we were kind of weren't in lockdown and we could sort of get back to normality. Yeah. Just a taste. And then they're like, fucking no. Like, you're back in the fucking lockdown.
Get back in your cage. No, that's cool.
Yes.
So today, I especially, because Matt doesn't like Zoom, but I had to push him. I pushed him hard. That's been a bit of a thing in our friendship, really. Matt mightn't want to do something, but I make sure it happens. So we're doing this Zoom because I thought it's being appropriate, being Are You Okay Day. And like you sent me a message on Instagram and that was really good. And I thought, why don't we do that even bigger and make it a podcast?
Yeah, for sure. This year, I really wanted to make a point of actually not just posting a photo of the Are You Okay Day logo and that's all you do, because every person in the world basically just posts it as their status or shares something and that's it.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to reach out and actually ask questions to people. So it was fun.
Yeah. This time, and this is the first time we've ever done this, is we're going to have guests today. Or tonight, I should say. So we will let them tell us about themselves, but
where's the drum roll, Ben? Like, these guests are pretty famous, let's be honest. This is state of the art. This is definitely going to be clickbait news.
Yeah, A grade. It's no B grade, C grade celebrities. These are A grade.
Yeah. In all seriousness, they are dead set legends.
Absolutely. We have spoken about Aiden a little bit on the podcast who we met in Sydney. We'll talk about that more. And also Tim O'Donnell, and he's a mate of ours here in Old Horsham. And he's, I don't know that whether therapist is the right word, but I suppose so. Counselor, yeah, that sort of thing. That's what he does. But also, a singer and into doing musicals and all that sort of thing. So we've got that sort of stuff in common, and being creative and whatnot. So I think I'll share this link with Tim now because he's ready. For some reason, I've just thought one thing that we probably haven't told our followers is about the stay the fuck at home, how your shirt like ended up in that video.
Yeah. Well, he's just known as the bloke, isn't he?
Yeah.
The bloke. And he does that, what is it? I'm a bloke, I'm a yobbo, and I really like your knockers. That sort of thing. He did that song years back, and he did a Stay the Fuck at Home song. And it had like people like Kevin Bloody Wilson, like those comedians that are in like, there was heaps of people. Anyway, he was wearing my shirt in it, so it was cool.
Yeah,
I think he was wearing it back to front, but I actually believe he was trying to do me a solid. So the shirt had the MDV logo, huge on the back. So he's like, "Oh, I've got to show it off at the front."
Yeah,
but no, he's awesome.
Yeah, good bloke.
He's got his own merch. He's got his own little merch too. Check it out.
Does he? Oh, we'll have to. Yeah, we'll have to check that out
for sure.
Okay, so we're just going to let Tim in now.
Woo!
Tim, how's it going?
Hello, how you doing?
Good.
We're good.
Am I lit up enough or not?
Yeah, no, it looks good. I like your setup. Your audio sounds good.
That's how I do my singing, man.
See my setup.
Yeah, Matt's got a few DVDs stacked on top of each other, and
this arrived today. I'm very happy this arrived today.
Oh yeah, Black Panther.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, how crazy though. Like,
he kept it quiet, man.
Yeah. And I think there was something he did for it was like an airline or something maybe, but it had something to do with cancer, like
he was visiting kids during Black Panther movie came out. He was really emotional about it. He was visiting kids who were dying before the show came out.
Yeah.
And he was living with it himself.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And no one knew.
I had no idea. I was shocked when I got the news article. I thought it was like clickbait, fake news.
Well, anyway. Tim, thank you very much for coming on our podcast.
It's a pleasure.
You OK Day podcast.
Yeah, no worries. It's good to be here.
Yeah. Matt and I haven't actually done a podcast for a little while because of this whole Corona lockdown, whatnot. But decided to get creative and we can,
get on the Zoom, my favorite app in history.
Yeah, Matt nearly didn't want to do it because he doesn't like Zoom.
Really? What's wrong with Zoom?
I don't know. I've just got my funny little ways. I've got my funny little ways. I'd rather, I don't know, go on House Party, which is a shitter version of Zoom.
Oh, it's so bad, man. It's a terrible.
Is that because it sounds better, or is it?
Oh, I got no idea.
Would you like to come and Zoom, or would you House Party?
Yeah.
House Party. House Party.
Yeah, that's right. Well, to start off, Tim, are you okay?
Yeah. It's a good question to ask. I work in the field as a person with a mental health issue. I do a lot of counselling at the moment. And yeah, I'm doing well. I was reflecting with a friend. I've probably been the best I've been for about 7 years. And I was looking at it from the point of view of just going, of all the times I'm actually doing all right, it's a time when it feels like the world's going a bit bonkers. And I think for me, I've just had a chance to take stock of a lot of things and be grateful. And, I've got a T-shirt I want to get that's called I was socially isolating before it was cool. And for me, it's just been a chance for the world to slow down a bit around me and me just to go, what I want to do. So yeah, I'm doing really well. How about you boys?
Yeah, good.
Yep, pretty good. No complaints here. I've actually loved the downtime where you don't feel like you have to be so social. It's been really good, to create some stuff and also go within and do a little bit of work and just chill out. I've actually enjoyed it when most people have hated it. I'm starting to get to the point where I want to get back out there, but it's been good so far.
I'm a big fan of now working from home, and I've seen a lot of people be better at it. But I think the biggest thing is when those restrictions wind off, we've got to work out what we do after that. And
Yeah.
it's okay to go outside again, folks, and let's not get caught trapped in our bubbles, because when you're living with anxiety and depression, it's easy to stay at home, but it's harder when you're sort of told to stay home. A lot of people are struggling, and that's what I'm sort of getting. But also, it's a good chance, like you said, Matty, to take some stock and look after yourself and have a look around, do a project. Just find
definitely.
different ways to get by. Just while we're sort of stuck in the inevitable patience that Australians are pretty good at. Mostly, we're pretty chilled out. So stay home. All right, we'll look at it. Yeah, calm. We'll stay home. It's all right. It's all good. We'll get through it. We'll be right.
Yeah, for sure. Matt and I were just talking before about how over in America, like there's like how different it is over there, hardly having any rules and not even necessarily needing to wear a mask and stuff like that. It's just crazy the difference between here and there, and probably other places too.
Yeah, I'm very interested about the impact that this has down the track. I hope we don't stay in it for too long, because there's a lot of measures about the financial impact, but then the emotional impact of people just not getting that basic human contact. I heard a couple of phrases recently where people are getting physically starved, someone said to me, where they're missing just shaking someone's hand or giving them a hug, or just patting someone on the shoulder and just saying, well done, or I'm proud of you. And I think the only time we get to see it in Australia is the AFL blokes, and they're all standing far apart, and then bang, they're in tackling each other. You just sit there and go, wow. But it would be weirder if they played with masks on, wouldn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, just a little.
Be harder to call for the ball.
Yeah. That's it. For sure.
But I don't know. I mean, the thing I'd ask, like, you guys are almost 2 decades younger than me. I've got no experience of this. So that's one thing we share, is that this is the first time anyone on the planet's gone through something that's probably alive, apart from anyone that's maybe lived through, the Great Depression and any great-great-grandparents or things like that. Like, this is the closest thing to going through Second World War and things where people were really starved. And, we've been through drought, we've been through floods, but this is this really strange first world. We've got internet, we've got computers, we've got all this stuff.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like a kid being told, like, you can have this, and this, but you can't have that.
Yeah.
We've got everything we need.
Yeah.
Just to get by. And I'm like, what do we actually need? And that's what I've worked out as well. Like, I'm okay because I've realized I didn't need half the stuff I needed anyway.
Yeah.
I've got creativity. I've got power. I've got a roof over my head. I've got a kid that I see, that I love dearly. I've got friends that I'd like to play music with eventually, Ben.
Yeah, that's right.
That again, that'd be good. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. But in the end, I think, we're not being bombed every day. We're not sitting here like in September 5, 1666, the Great Fire of London came through.
Yeah.
And that wiped out places again and again and again in London. We're not like that.
No.
But it's over time. We're so used to being out in the world and being part of something that it must be hard for people. And it is certainly hard that people are getting isolated. And I really feel for people in Melbourne. I mean, out in the sticks here, we're okay.
Yeah.
We can go out, do our thing, come home. But, to have restrictions of that nature is, going to feed a lot of people's cabin fever. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't imagine. It'd be very... I don't know, like the laws being so strict, and you can only be so far away from your house, and so on, and even like the CBD really just being like a ghost town at the moment, where there's no shops open, nothing like that. People aren't going to work and stuff like that, and lost their jobs, and like it'd be hard.
Yeah, I think it's the biggest year to actually ask, are we okay? And I guess, boys, one of the things that's come up when I used to run the campaign around the Wimmera region years ago, I was walking around with a shirt and I was working at the hospital in Edenhope, and it's now coming to, are you okay? But now, like, what are we going to do if someone says they're not okay? So, pop quiz. I might be your guest, but I'm going to throw it back at you.
Yeah.
What would you do, fellas, if someone said you're not okay? So if you ask me then, Ben, you said, Tim, are you okay? And I'll go, no, I'm not. What do you do?
Oh, that's a good question. I suppose like,
because this is the thing. This is the one thing.
You're so used to people saying, "Oh, good, thanks." Like, because
I
no one
can run you
really
through
does
the
say.
Aussie. Yep. G'day. How are you? Good. Yep. You okay? Yep. Self. Good. Yep.
I don't know. I would
Chin.
say, talk to me. Like, I'm here to listen.
Yep.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Matty? What would you say?
Pretty much the same. Just, be there, do more listening than talking at the start. Make sure they feel safe, supported, and just no judgment. If I felt I couldn't help someone, then I would sort of try and give them advice on a way they can approach getting a bit more mental clarity and stuff, or seeking other people's opinions if they didn't feel comfortable talking to me.
I've seen you boys do your podcasts, and one of the things I think is that you don't overthink it. And I just think when you give a let's say give a shit, Ben.
Yeah.
Anyone? Am I allowed to? Okay.
Yeah.
When you give a shit about someone, when you care enough about someone that you want to ask them how they're going, and you don't want it to be tokenistic, because one of the things that you could get back is a person says, "Nah, I'm feeling awful."
Mm.
And so one of the things that you need to be prepared for is that be prepared that someone might tell you they're not okay. Mm. And, in my job, I'm trained to sort of work with that. But I always think people in the community will see that person way before I will in an office space or in a counselling setting.
Yeah,
and you might be the person, or anyone listening to this podcast could be someone that's that first point of contact in the community that goes, oh, crap, something's not right with my friend. Are you all right? Are you okay?
Yeah.
And they go, nah, mate, actually, I'm not.
Yeah.
So like you said, Matty, I'm here. What can I do for you? What can I do to help you? And seriously, that's the best thing I've ever heard someone say is like, thanks for telling me. What can I do to help you?
Yeah, definitely.
And if anyone's had depression, and I've lived with it myself, one of the things you don't sort of expect to hear is someone to give a crap back at you. When you're going through a tough time, you just go, hey, you going? I'm crap.
Yeah.
Oh, right. I'm just going to go over here then.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I'm not qualified. It's very Monty Python, It's like, oh, you've got depression. No, I'm not a psychologist. I don't know what to do from here. And I want us to be better at doing it, because that we won't see them in my office. They'll see you guys first in the community, or anyone
very true.
who's in a community, and they're going to see their mate at the footy, or they'll see them at the cinema, or they'll see them at the pub, and they might be sitting there just over a beer, and the guy goes, no, mate, you're looking a bit ratty.
Yeah.
What's been happening? And, oh, geez, Mrs. is this, and, I've lost a job, and, I'm struggling with this, and you're all right? No, mate, I'm not.
Yeah.
For sure.
Bang. And it's not end scene. Don't end the scene. That's not where it ends.
No.
It's where it opens, where it begins.
Yeah.
Great.
So we could role play it if you want. I could do it. You want to do it, Matty?
Oh, I'm up for anything. What role are we playing?
You're playing the guy who's sick, and I'll walk you through the version of it.
Rightio.
Okay. So, hey, Matty, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. That's what I'd probably say if I wasn't all right.
Yeah, stay in character, will you?
Yeah. I'll get it now. Yeah, no, in character.
God.
Cut.
I'll get you on so cut, scene 2. Hey, Matty, how are you, man? Matty, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
Yeah,
doing all right.
You sure? You look a bit knackered. Is everything okay?
Nah, it's not good. Everything's fucked.
Yeah. Oh. What's happened?
Yeah, things aren't working out.
Well, what's going on? What happened? And this is where someone thinks that's counselling. And that's just giving a crap about your mate. If you're inquisitive enough, one of the things that Aussies get by with is that casual conversation where we go, hey, you going? Yeah, good. Yep, you fine. Yep, good. Awesome. And actually what blokes are good at, and your generation's got better at it, is that you're okay to engage in that conversation. Go, well, hang on, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Not all right. Hang on, what's that mean? And if you stop talking at that point, you're showing you're not listening. That's all it means. And they just go, well, fuck you, you know, I'm gonna go over here. You're not even listening anyway.
Yeah.
So
very true.
So you know, not everyone carries the 10-step checklist to depression in the back of their pocket at the pub.
No, not at all.
But when a friend's a friend, you can always, like, people say, where do people tell them that they're suicidal or they're not feeling great? And I said, anywhere.
Yeah.
The conversation can happen anywhere, which is why it's important as a community. We ask, are you okay? And then know what to do afterwards, because it could happen. You know, I could have come in today and started talking, and one of you guys has had a bad day. And then you go, well, actually, shit, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And I'm immediately, you know, I'm trained to do it, but I want people just to be community trained in just going, don't be afraid to answer that question, because it could save their life. It could help them get to that next point.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we call an ambulance. It doesn't mean that we, you know, section 10 them, send them to the cops. It's not about that. It's about, just like Maddie said earlier, listening and being there for them, because guess what it takes to tell someone you're not okay?
Yeah, it takes a lot of balls.
It takes balls. It takes guts. It takes courage.
Yeah.
And they're afraid immediately of saying that you're going to treat them differently. And if you say that to someone, and you don't know what to do, they immediately go from, I'm going to tell you this much, to I'm going to just do something else, rule the moment and get the hell out because you haven't listened to me.
Yeah.
Spot on. So
with that conversation where you played the client, Matt, all that really needs to happen there is that you go, that's no good. What's happening? You know, And one of the things that my generation in our 40s, and you boys are in your 20s, you know, you're sitting there just going, when did you go see the doc last? Is there anyone you should see? Like, where would you guys go with that conversation now? Because you guys are talking about depression and mental health so much more than my generation was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hold the old man card in this 3-piece beautiful trinity of creativity. But you guys talk about depression more.
Yeah.
You're also in the high risk category. Last year, I got out of the high risk category for suicide when I turned 45 this year. Yeah. You guys are smack in the middle of the most vulnerable that need to be talking about their problems.
Yeah. Personally, I would go to Matt, you know, like, or friends, you know, friends and family, to talk. I don't know that a lot of people really feel like that though. You know, because a lot of people don't want to, well, obviously find it hard to talk to anyone, but, I don't know. I'm quite happy to sort of, like, I'm pretty open with who I talk to. Like, I don't have that sort of barrier. But yeah, I don't necessarily just go straight to, I need to go to the doctors, or I need to go to, you know, see a therapist or anything like that.
We never do. And that's the thing where people always say, what would you do as an expert? And I'm like, the problem is that I don't see them until they get to that point. And I don't want people to get, no offense, I love my job, but I don't want people to get so sick that they end up having to have to go to the doctors to get a mental health plan. Not every person that experiences a mental health issue has to do therapy.
Yeah.
What needs to happen is you just got to sit with someone like Matt and give a crap for a minute and just say, what's going on, mate? And maybe, just maybe, what happens there is it lets some air out.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm getting sucked into everything you're saying. Everything you say is like gold. And, you know, me and Ben preach a lot of this stuff in our podcasts and stuff, but it's actually really good to have someone like you that actually explains it.
Well, I'm great at taking compliments, so not. But anyway, the thing I'd say to you then, Matt, and Ben, is who's the expert in mental health?
Well, no one really, I guess. Everyone's different.
Every person that lives with it is their own version of the expert. Every bit of anxiety looks different. Every bit of depression looks different. Yeah. Stamp, hashtag. Yeah. But that's what I realized. The reason why I've got better at the job that I do compared to even years ago is I've remembered who the expert is. I'm a lived experience person. So I've tapped into more understanding what it feels like. I know what it's like to sit in the client seat and get help when you're going through a shit time. Yeah. But you always got to remember that the person with the mental health issue knows themselves better than anyone else. It's just that maybe they're not having that conversation. And all you got to do is help a person have a conversation, get it out of their head, and start sharing it. Because one of the biggest things, and here's let's hashtag a few things. Anxiety is the biggest bullshitter you will ever run into in your life. It lies to you. It tells you. It's like it's the helicopter parent. When you're about to step out at May Park and go on the swing set, and the kid hasn't even got out the door, and mum's gone, or the dad has gone, oh, don't go on that swing because you're on that swing. Then you're going to fall off it. And then when you fall off it, I'm going to have to take you to the doctor. And then we're going to be stuck there for 4 hours. And we won't be able to have any food later. And then we're going to starve.
Yeah.
And the kid's like, man, I'm just getting out of the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anxiety tells us stuff in advance. Like it's a really dodgy mind reader that tells us everything's disastrous. Yeah. Depression is the one that sits there in the corner and goes, what's the point anyway?
Yeah,
it's all crap.
Yeah.
And so you got two big liars. One that's telling you it's not even worth bothering. The other one's just this hyperactive, scared person that's just going, we can't do it anyway. It's too scary. We can't even do it.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is helping a person who understands themselves to understand themselves. So a lot of what I do with clients is I help them understand themselves. I show them what their personalities look like. I help them understand how they deal with it themselves. Because one of the things that we can't do is think that every single thing we say to Ben is what's going to work for Matt.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
So we've got to trust the person with the mental health issue to be self-aware. Encourage them to be self-aware. Encourage them to be their own therapist in a way as well.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they don't always need to come and see me. I don't need the business. I do this out of love.
Yeah.
I do this. I'm awful at charging money to people because I'm like, I don't feel comfortable charging money. I just like doing this because it feels like it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Awesome. He's soaking it in. He's loving it.
Yeah, I'm soaking it in. Everything you say, man, is like going in my hand. It's just like, I don't know.
The vibrations. The vibrations are good, Matt.
Yeah, you've got good vibe, man. I'm really into all this like vibrational shit.
He calls me Obi-Wan. I'm going to throw something at him next time I can reach him.
No.
No, I can do it. Hello there.
Well, I think to finish off,
you were the chosen one. Sorry. Yes, go on. Sorry.
That's all right. I think what I want to finish off by talking about is what we would like the end of the corona tunnel to look like. We have sort of touched on it a little bit, but is there certain things? Well, so yeah, we've touched on things a little bit, but are there certain things that you're mostly looking forward to, or what you want to get back to doing, and that sort of thing?
I've got a really simple message, actually. I think the biggest thing is just because you're at home, it doesn't mean you can't do anything. So for me, one of the things that I've done during September is I'm doing an exercise thing and raising money for cerebral palsy. So I'm doing September, and it just gives me something to do. Yeah. I think the biggest thing that people would take away is that we're not locked. It's not jail. And the people who say it's like jail don't understand probably what jail's about.
No,
this is there's no beepers around their ankles, when nothing's going off. There's things that people could do with themselves. And I just don't want people to let their brain shrink because they feel like I can't do anything because I'm at home with electricity and I've got that room I wanted to fix up. And I understand that the motivation's low, but don't miss this opportunity to be closer to people in different ways. Be social through things like this. This is the biggest thing I think people have learned, is that things like Zoom and things like, the amount of times I played Cards Against Humanity nights with friends recently. We've done, watched some YouTube stuff together. I ran a trivia night recently.
Yeah.
Would I have bothered to getting around to that? And here's the thing. Nah, I wouldn't have had the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we got nothing but that.
Yeah.
How many people are sitting there just twiddling their thumbs and going, I can't wait for this to end?
Yeah.
And what would you rather do instead? And I feel for anyone that's getting weighed down by it, but also I just want friends to reach out to each other a little bit more, show some care and kindness, not just today, but as we get to the end, because in the end, we're going to be at the end of the corona journey. And then people are going to sort of sit there, come out of their houses. It'll be like that Simpsons episode, when they all go outside after being addicted to something. I can't remember. And they all go, oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. I can
all
picture
the
that.
masks are off and you can hear this beautiful music and birds. And everyone's like, wow, God, I got fat. That's what someone said to me. What'd you do? I got fat. That's all I got. Or I spent all my money and I just think in the end, don't miss opportunities that sometimes come your way to be able to go, this is a chance I can really look at myself. Because here's the catch. I have done some of my best work during Corona, and I've seen some clients go leaps and bounds quicker because all they've got is their thoughts. And if you can sit with people at that time and help them, it's a really good time to get better mentally as well as be challenged by something. So I'm a natural, Ben, you've known me for a while. I'm a natural optimistic. It's part of my journey. It's how I keep myself sane as well. But I just think it's not prison. We're not being told to shut our faces. Yes, it's a little bit inconvenient and incredibly inconvenient at times, but it'll change. We'll be back to something. And maybe even, fingers crossed, we're a little more humble about how lucky we are.
Yeah.
Let's hope so, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, I get a bit annoyed with people that put up posts about, dictator Dan and blah blah blah, and we can't go
run into
anywhere
anyone that's got a Cuban background and ask them what a dictator's really like.
Exactly.
And, I'm sorry. I feel for anyone in government positions. I feel for anyone that's in charge.
It'd be terrible.
No one's going to get this right. Yeah. And in the end, the best thing is trying to help people in a way to get forward. And you know what? We help each other as well by doing that.
Yeah.
I think one of the things I've seen is that we've probably, as a group of people, most of the time, and I think without Corona, there's always going to be an element of people that don't like systems.
Yeah.
So they'll protest for the sake of protesting, but there are certain things that have really got wings during this time. People are talking about Black Lives Matter. People are talking about, the LGBTI community, and people are talking about all these important things in life. And those conversations will keep going. The fact that a person doesn't want to wear a mask because they don't want to wear a mask is, for me, just makes me go, what?
Yeah. Fuck off, Karen. Go home.
Yeah. And look, I want to be totally equal opportunity. I think we need Karen, Sharon, Darren. We need a Darren, because I'll tell you, I've run into blokes that are just as silly as what they call the Karen mentality.
Yeah.
And they're the guys that go, oh, mate, it's not coming near me. Look, do I look like the kind of bloke that's going to get coronavirus? Really? And then I look at them and I go, without a mask on? Yes, you look like a prime candidate not to get it.
That's right.
So I just think there's light at the end of the tunnel. There always has been. It's just that I feel like it's, it feels like when you're walking in flippers.
No, never.
On the land. Have you ever tried to walk forward in flippers?
No.
On the land?
No.
Very awkward.
Yeah.
Very awkward. Well, they work well in the water.
I imagine.
But if you try and walk forward, you kind of go like,
yeah.
That's how I feel like this year's been. It's been like maybe trying to. Oh dear, here goes my brain. What could you try and jump over that's little? And all I could think of was like small poodles. So maybe imagine trying to jump small objects with flippers on. Yeah. That's kind of what managing 2020 is like.
Yeah.
And it's difficult, but it's not that it's not unachievable. It's just going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Sure. And things could be worse.
Absolutely.
And I just don't want anyone to, especially around mental health, I don't want people to have to. The light at the end of the tunnel for Corona is the same thing for mental health for me, is that I don't want people to have to die just because they're being ignorant or they're not getting help or they're not getting support. So the same thing ties in together. Are you okay across the board? Should be every day. So I've always said, are you okay? Should be every day. But if you're not okay or you're not happy, don't suffer in silence. Talk about your problems. Get it out there in front of people so that they can offer you support. Because here's the other thing, and this you might need to edit this in.
Yeah.
One of the things about living with a mental illness is sometimes we can get grumpy that people aren't listening to us. But guess what? Professor X is not a real character. Yeah. We can't read minds. I can't read minds. Ben, if you can read minds, we're going to make millions. Matt, if he's going to make millions, we might as well exploit him for it. But we can't read minds. So sometimes depression looks like Ben, who's smiling, looks like Matt, who's blinking, and me, who's going like this.
Yeah.
But until you start a conversation, you don't know where a person's at. And then you can't open that door.
Yeah.
But when you do open that door, be ready for what's coming.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Perfect, Tim. Thank you.
Well said.
Easy.
Yeah.
Wow, that was like inspirational. I feel like I just bought a ticket to something. That was great.
You get a car. You get a car. You get a car.
You'll get a car.
All right. Thanks, Tim. We'll
Cheers,
Man,
man.
fine. We're winding up, Ben. Is that what you're doing? Right. Okay.
Yeah, well, we're getting to another call in a minute. So
Well,
but yeah, very grateful for you coming on today.
Yeah, check will be in the mail. I know.
Yeah.
See you guys soon. Nice to meet you, Matty. Probably in the
No
flesh.
worries. Cheers, man.
And yeah, keep an eye on him. He's a bit of a wowzer. That Benny. He's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I leave. No, I know what to do. I've done this.
Yeah, I think I can. Yeah, I'll catch ya.
Ben, I'm not that old. I know what to do.
All right.
I'm gonna go now. See ya. Bye.
Catch ya.
Oh shit.